Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. Today we're doing more broken down and pulled apart. Today's song we're going to be talking about and band is Deftones, and this song is the probably their most famous track, I would say. Change in the House of Flies. It's been used in so many soundtracks over the years. As I think anything from the 2000s to about 2015, it had it in the soundtrack at some point. If it was a kind of modern edgy film. But we're going to talk about it. Now, the way we do this is we break the song down into minute or so blocks, and we talk about each section as we go to give you a bit of an idea of our journey. So we're going to play you the first minute for you at home now. Okay, I'm going to kick off this one. Not too much of it. It's a song I know very, very well, but it was the first time I've actually probably sat down and listened to this as a whole. Deftones was a band I know, but I've never been into. I have to be honest. When they came out or when they made it kind of big, I know they've been around since '88, but I never really. When Korn was doing their thing and Deftones was floating around and all these other bands, there was a few key bands I liked, but Deftones I never really got into their vocal delivery. It's a cool song. It's got a really cool chilled vibe. It reminds me of Stained, this song, more than anything else. And a little bit of like the later band that came along, Hoobastanks, that did that song, The Reason. There's a bit of that in there as well. It's kind of distressing. It's a little bit creepy. It's a bit of a vibe on its own. I understand why it's a really popular song. There ain't that much to it, is what I found in this first minute. When you think about it, it's just it's kind of two main bits where you've got that clean and you've got the heavy, and there's not a huge amount of variation in it, but it does kind of take you on this nice little journey. But yeah, first vibe on it, it's a vibe, kind of cool. Andy,
We get slated in the comments, but Deftones, never listened to them. The only Deftones song I know, I'm not sure if we covered it on the channel or it came my way through other sources. Is there something called My Summer?
My Own Summer Shove It.
Yeah,
that's the other one that's their big one as well. So yeah. I should say that's probably the other one. That's
I actually quite like that. You know, I remember downloading that on the streaming service and actually quite liking that track. This one, yeah, I get the Stained vibe, Dave, from this. Is this typical of Deftones? Is this the sort of material they produce, Kirk?
Possibly some of the later stuff. Yeah, because I'll keep it brief. They were originally cited as new metal pioneers, but nowadays people are even saying that they've created their own genre of like shoegaze metal, or that you can even call them post metal or atmospheric metal. So yeah, they're still very heavy, and they'll have songs a lot heavier than this. But it's a good indication of how they started on that journey in 2000 by releasing this as the first single from the White Pony album.
Yeah, I mean, it all goes back to that classic of mine where, you know, the name, the logo doesn't draw me in, so I've never listened to them. But I did actually quite like this track, as I did the summer one, My Own Summer Shove It, whatever it's called. Yeah, I think the mood is set quite nicely at the beginning of the song. You say it's sort of quite atmospheric, and then the sort of the whispered vocals I like, but I wasn't so keen on the sort of the inflection he puts in at the end of the lines. Again, I don't know if that's the kind of thing he does in other songs, but yeah, I mean, it's good start. The riff comes in towards the end of this opening minute. So overall, you know, started to enjoy the song from the get go, which I wasn't expecting because it's Deftones, not a band I'd expect to like.
Kirk.
Yeah, I'll quickly give you a background. So I was in sixth form college when this album came out, and it was huge. And all the people who liked Korn and Limp Bizkit were eagerly anticipating this record, and it kind of put me off because I'd already become an elitist at that stage. I was like, I only listen to Emperor and Dillinger Escape Plan. This song, the most impressive feature is how they've incorporated a Portishead vibe. And Dave, you noticed that because you called it a chill vibe. That is so difficult to do in this type of music. Chino Moreno, trademark vocal swoon. It's as strong as ever. I remember when I first heard My Own Summer Shove It in 1997, I saw it on MTV, and I went out to HMV and bought what I thought was the studio album, but it turns out I'd bought a live album that had just come out around that time. And because I was 15 or 14, I got ID'd at HMV because it was explicit, it's got the sticker on. So they were unwilling, at first they were unwilling to sell it to me. The emotions here ripple through the air almost like steam from a kettle. So again, this is very unique to Deftones, and a lot of bands have ripped this off. And they're the great survivors. Yes, people saw them as new metal. They always had a hardcore edge to them. They were always influenced by The Cure and Depeche Mode as well, and even the Smiths. And then they also like some of the more extreme metal, like early Sepultura. So I certainly had a love-hate relationship with them around this time, which was unfair. And I've got a lot of respect for how they've developed. And I know that this song has become a breakout on TikTok, hasn't it? And that's kind of relaunched their popularity as well. But great start in the first minute, I would say.
Okay, let's play minute 1 to minute 2 for you at home. Andy, do you want to go ahead on this one?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, I mean, overall, the song is quite broody, or brooding, should I say. There's anguish and despair in the vocals. They're kind of subtle. I mean, I've written down here that it's not a million miles away from, the sort of, the sort of experimental My Dying Bride album, 34.88 complete. Particularly the guitar tone, the vocals, that again, that's what I was thinking when I was running through this track. I mean, in this minute, we've got, the quite a slow tempo. I didn't realise Chino Moreno played guitar for the band. I don't know if he does all the rhythm guitar sections or where, because when I've seen them perform live on various things and music videos, he hasn't got a guitar in front of him. So maybe it's an occasional thing that he does. But there's some disturbing images throughout the video. Squalor. There's implied really mad party and drug taking, that kind of thing. So that kind of reflects the music and the sort of vocal delivery as well. Again, I'll just reiterate, I'm surprised how much I did enjoy the track overall.
Kirk.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. It is edgy, this, isn't it? It keeps it at a certain level of anguish, and even the chorus does give you the release, but they still keep a bit of that darkness in there as well, don't they? I mean, you know which band I'm going to mention, but other than Faith No More, who have heavily influenced Deftones, which we know, is there a band that can insert a chill vibe into rock music without squandering energy and momentum that's better than Deftones? Probably not. So I sound like I'm the biggest fan, don't I, so far in this appraisal, which I'm not really. Musically, this is simple stuff, but I don't mean that as a negative critique. I mean, they make those distorted downstrumming guitars work in the chorus. Anyone can do those, can't they? And the song is guided by the uniqueness of Chino Moreno's voice and the emotional hold that it has on you. And I think this is what puts some people off Deftones. He has almost like an erotic element to the way that he elongates certain words. I remember when I heard that as a teenager thinking, what the hell is this? But I'm just going to make one more comment at this stage after we've done the chorus. Around this time, all rock and metal music was in the mainstream, was just verse, bridge, chorus, middle eight. This is one of those songs, but we've gone too far the other way now, where I don't think anyone can even write music like this anymore because we're like, oh, it's too simple. So it's actually aged quite well, I would say, as a result of that. And it's harder than you think to write a minimalist song with just guitar, bass, drums, and those atmospheric keyboard samples.
Okay. My thoughts on this one. So I was always assumed Deftones was new metal, but I know that they're not really new metal. They've got new metal influences, but they've got they're influenced by so many other things as well. So when I was listening to this, I think because I've heard it so many times that there's obviously nothing really surprising in it. I was trying to just kind of go, well, what vibe am I getting from it? And it is such a simple song. It's a simple chord strummed. The strumming of it is grunge. This has got a song that's got more to do with grunge than anything else, in my opinion, personally.
Yeah, Smashing
Vocally,
Pumpkins.
yeah, there's a grunge element to this. There's the alternative. It's alternative rock at this point. This song is. There's a little bit more anguish from it that you might get from some metal elements, but it's basically grunge indie. So this is it's a grunge indie song, if anything, for me. So it's such a big song, but it's just so basic. And sometimes you can write some of the best songs, even being really, really simple. So let's play the last 1 minute 55 seconds for you at home. Andy, final thoughts?
Not much more to add, really, other than, like I said, surprised I enjoyed it. And as we've been chatting, I've downloaded the first two albums to sort of check out, tomorrow. I mean, in minutes 2 to 3, the tempo and the atmosphere, the whole song kind of drops, which I really liked. And just reiterating what I've said before, the sort of music video does support the song. The anguish and the despair, and the squalor that this environment is portraying kind of must reflect in the lyrics as well, which I didn't really pick out from the song, but it's done enough for me to perhaps check out the Deftones.
The Death of
Check out Deftones, which I would never thought I'd ever say. Even
Okay.
I enjoyed Shove It, My Own Summer, wherever that came from. That's probably on the soundtrack as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's on. You say you've downloaded the first two albums. It's on the second one, which is called Around the Fair from 1997. So you'll be listening to that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kirk?
the middle eight section's predictable. All, as I keep saying, at MTV2 era, no one was playing solos, and they just basically strip down the whole parts, don't they, and keep with those chords and the bass and the atmosphere. This band have got a good groove to them though as well, haven't they? They always have had. So we know we're not going to get a solo. And then when it comes back in with a chorus, the structure of this composition is easy to follow. It's basically like listening to Come As You Are by Nirvana and then thinking, oh, I could probably try to cover that after listening to it twice and having 5 guitar lessons. Again, not being negative. Just because you can cover it, could you do it with the same intensity, atmosphere, integrity? No. This is probably untouchable as a song for any other band to try and cover it. Just because it's easy to do doesn't mean you could pull it off. And they're unique for that. And we can all remember that sauntering chorus really after 2 renditions, can't we? Like this song now, I haven't heard it probably for about 20 years since it came out. It's been in my head all day. And we know it's had a TikTok breakout, and they've somehow managed to gather a large following of teenage girls as well. I don't mean teeny boppers either. I mean like edgy alternative type women as well. And they're playing Crystal Palace this year, and my friend's going and he's staying over at my house while he goes to that gig. So clearly they're on the up again, aren't they, this band? And no wonder this is actually a really good alternative rock song that's influenced by the Smashing Pumpkins, but clearly still sounds like Deftones.
I mean, that middle section that you were talking about, it's that cliche of that Korn really kind of started in the early 90s of like, I'm going to be, oh, my life's so bad, I'm going to do a spoken word bit and it will be hush hush and look at me, oh, my daddy beat me, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. It's music in the 90s with grunge and new metal became so introspective about, it wasn't about what was like, with things like Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that, it was about screw the government and fight the power and all that sort of stuff. In the 80s, it was all about, there's some of that in the metal, and it was all about battle beasts and other stuff like new wave of British heavy metal was all about fantasy type elements as well, and political elements. But in grunge and new metal, it suddenly became about we incorporated elements of more indie rock and started talking about our lives more, and everything was about hurt. And this makes me think about, because this is it's a basic song, it's very introspective, it's a good track, but it's very one-dimensional to me. There is nothing spectacular musically about this song, but what I think it works for people is because it connects with them emotionally, because it's such an introspective look at the world. And so that's why it probably did so well, and everyone goes, I feel this way, Jay, and they're like, oh my god, this means something to me. Now it means nothing to me, so I listen to it and I'm like, it's a good hum along track. It's got a bit of a hook to it, but other people will make it massive. But I'm surprised it is such a big hit. And there's a generation this talks to. It really doesn't talk to me at all, and it has not made me change my mind on Deftones at all. I think, what's that one where he stomps around on desks at school?
Yeah, that was on. They did that song to promote this album. The
White Pony album,
original pressing of the White Pony album. Yeah, it's got the word maggot in the title, hasn't it?
It's a stupid video. It's a stupid song. And you called your album White Pony. It's a stupid album name as well. So none of those things resonated with me at all.
Back to school.
Back to school, yeah.
Maggot.
It was just an awful video, an awful track. It was just It
that kind of put me off as well. I remember when
that put me off the band.
But
I will say, look, as I said, it's a simplistic track. It's catchy. It's got a good hook to it. It connects with certain people. It's never connected with me, so it's never going to resonate. But I understand why it does resonate, because it's the introspective part that we got from grunge, and from like bands like Alice in Chains did it really, really well, stuff like that. So there we go. Deftones, Change in the House of Flies. If you enjoyed the video today, please do like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.